I've spent almost 3 years in Rwanda, but it was between 2013 2017, and I haven't been since there in Rwanda, so I don't know how Rwanda looks now. I know from YouTube and some media and etc. But it's, I mean, what delights me is that it's a stable country, safe country, and it's very developing. That's, I think it's very important that your situation economically, historically is more and more stable. That's something which is important for me. But even because the first time I came to Rwanda in 2006, I think so, or 5, and it was completely different Rwanda, even from the perspective of 2017. It was like absolutely unbelievable developing, and the country changed so much. I remember this entering to Kigali from 2006 when we were coming back from this direction, from Bukavu. It was like a very dark city, and in 2017 it was like Chicago, full of light and skyscrapers, and so fantastic. So I think that because of today anniversary and occasion to welcome the first historical ambassador, Anastazja Siaka, in Poland. And, everything came back to me, and I felt that finally that it's a time to come back to visit Rwanda. So thank you for this question. And what is my movie about? This is a feature movie, and to make long story short, it's the movie about the consequences of genocide. And because we never wanted to make a movie, any political movie, because I think that Rwandans should make such a movies by themselves. Who am I to tell the political story? It's the more poetical and metaphysical story about the consequences of genocide and what stays after genocide. It stays the wrong silence. And I hope that this movie is also about hope and future, and that we believe that even if you survived such absolutely unbelievable things, and you passed as individually or as a society, as a nation, that there is a hope that life is coming back, and that's the most important. And it's always strength to rebuild the community, and the next generations, they of course have to deal with these awful things and this experience. But the most important is to bring the circle of life again. And that's why I was so happy today that I saw so many Rwandans, young Rwandans, kids, students. That's something unbelievable. I remember when I started first castings for this movie in 2013, we found like 6 Rwandans in Poland. There were no Rwandan. It was very difficult to find even. And now we have like hundreds, thousands of students, Rwandan students in Poland. So I see the new generation who are the kids. Some are survivors, but they are the hope for all of us. And why this title of this movie? Because as I mentioned before, that was my experience as a witness, as a friend of you who survived, or the witness of pain of this who stayed, the witness who saw some remnants and memorial sites. That all the time we felt, and we had this in our heart, somewhere inside, like a bad silence. It wasn't a good silence, like this. And that's why in this movie we never put in music, because we believe that it's something which is really wrong from moral point of view to aesthetize genocide. So it means that you don't believe in pain of victims. And also we knew from the literature, from the book Peter Gurevich, that when genocide had happened and Patriotic Rwandan Front entered to the country was completely empty. He came in this time as a journalist, and he wrote that he realized after 1 week that of course it was natural, because the Tutsi were killed, the rest ran away, country was empty, but there was something wrong. He couldn't describe this. And then he realized that there are not even birds, that there are not singing birds, because during the genocide nobody was able to bury the corpses and the remains. And then all the vultures and the other species, they were feeding by human bodies, but when they finished with the human bodies remains, they started to kill the singing birds, and that's where not the singing birds. And of course now Rwanda is very noisy in the morning. It's a lot of birds, but it's like a circle of life. But this singing of the birds, it's like hope and sign of strength, of rebuilding the life. And that's why the only music which we put in our movie is the voice of singing birds at the end of the movie. That's why this title. But this is really based on facts, what happened in Rwanda.